Okay, hello guys, welcome to another session for Girls into Tech training, right? This particular session will be for no code classes. Yeah, you're going to continue learning how to build a mobile application without writing codes. The same with web applications without writing codes. So I'm going to just wait for a couple of minutes to see if at all we can have more people join the session. Yeah. So if at all we can have more people join the session, then we can, proceed. Let me just go ahead and share the invitation to our communities. Okay. I'm just going to go ahead and share the information to our communities, and then we can have people here. So if at all you're here, you can just say hi. Hi, good to have you here, or hi. I'm joining from Lagos, Nigeria. I'm joining from anywhere that you're joining from. Yeah, so I will try to, let me just try to share it to other communities quickly. Yeah. So I hope you guys are doing fine. Yeah, Jennifer, good to have you here. Uh, Morton Ryo, good to have you here. Karim is always available. Good to have you here, Karim. It's been a while. Abu Princewell, good to have you here. Abu is joining from Lagos, Nigeria. Okay, good to have you here. So we're gonna start shortly. Let's just have more people join the class, and then we will start fully. Yeah, I see we have like about 8 people. Okay, now it's 6. Karim, good to have you here from Tunisia. Okay, let me share it to the other communities too. I think if I share enough, we can have a couple of people joining. So this particular live class is going to be for you to learn how to build a simple to-do list application. I just want to show you the what is it called? I just want to show you the application of what you've learned before in the Girls into Tech program, where you learned where you learned something about crude, right? Which is one of the basic things that you need to understand when building a mobile application, right? Okay, so I want to show you how to apply all of those things into building something unique, all right? Something like a simple to-do list application. Okay, so I will soon be done sharing it to other communities. So let's see. Okay, so Abu Princewell said, I was working on your messenger app last night. Thank you for the help. Thank you very much too. Keep practicing. Karim said thanks. Let me see. Okay, Jennifer is joining from Lagos. Bilo Crew is joining from France. Okay, good to have you here. Good to have you here, Jennifer. Sarah Dimba, good to have you here too as well. Okay, good stuff. We're going to start. We have just 1 more minute to exchange pleasantries, right? Then after that, we can, start fully. Uh, just 1 minute. Let me see. Let me try to send it across other communities right away. Okay. I'm just trying to make sure that every single person that can benefit from these is aware of the fact that we're having a live session right now. Okay, so let's see. Okay, we have someone here also extending pleasantries. Akolade, good to have you here. All right, so let's jump right into it, guys. What are we building today? We're building something that is going to be very simple and very straightforward. Okay, we're building a to-do list application, and we'll be building it using FlutterFlow. Okay, so one of the things that I'm gonna do right now is I'm gonna share my screen, but before then, let me open a specific application or FlutterFlow project that we have been using. And then I will be able to begin building these immediately. All right, so let's go. Let me share my screen. I try to see how I can be as fast as possible. Not so fast, all right, so that you can still get the gist. All right, this is the FlutterFlow project that we will be using in their entire Girls into Tech program. All right. So this particular lesson is strictly for girls into tech, but of course, every other single person who is like a subscriber to the Space YouTube channel, of course, has access to these videos. So what we're going to do now is we're just going to go ahead and create a simple to-do list application. All right, so this is what we did before, but we're going to try to do something else. Now, what does this a to-do list application entail? Let's go to Figma. Let's just go to Figma and see what we can find there. Although I don't want to do anything very complicated, right? I'm just going to go to explore communities, and then I'll go to what is it called? I'll just search here, simple, maybe simple to-do list. To-do list. Yeah, simple to-do list application or something like that. Now, I might not be able to see a really perfect UI, but I'm gonna use anything that I'm gonna use anything that I see here. So let me just take a look at what we can find here. Let's try this one. Right click, open a new tab. Let me see what we can quickly build. All right, how does this look like? This, and go to groceries, pick up this. Okay. I like the black background scenario. Let's try to open it in Figma and see what we have there. Okay, so the idea for a to-do list is you should just have like okay, this is how the to-do list looks like. Well, this is not exactly what I want us to build, but it's going to be similar to this. Okay, so maybe we can just use this as a reference. We can just use this as a simple reference. All right, so let's come over here. We're going to click here to create a new page. All right, the page is going to be called, let's click here and say create blank and say create to do. All right, so create to do, and then we will say create page. Now this is the page that we will be using to create a particular to do. All right, yeah. So then let's say let's come to home, right? We already had these. Let me just delete these out. Let's come here. Let's say let's create another screen, and we'll call it let's create another screen. Let's call it to-do list. All right, to-do list. All right, so to-do list. This is a page for to-do list. So let me come back here and see what we have here. So we have maybe the photo of the person. We're not going to go ahead and do all of this, right? We just want to make it simple and basic. So here we have good morning user, good morning to the person. Here are your, okay. So I'm just going to copy these text, okay? And then I will come back to FlutterFlow, and let's call this place, let's change the title here to do list. All right, and I'll change this background to black. Okay, I'll just change this background to black, and I will click here. That's the main column itself. I will click the widget tree here. Click to add a child to the main column, which is this icon. I click to add this, and that the child that I added is a row. Then I will add a text widget. This is supposed to be very simple because it's totally for beginners. And now that I've pasted the content of the text, I need to just go ahead and add like maybe the padding for the text widget. So I gave 25 pixels. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to give a padding of about maybe 25 for the top. And this is going to be good morning. Let's just combine it. Good morning, David at gmail.com. Yeah, something like this. But I want to, no, let me separate it. Okay, let's separate it. Oh, okay. I'm just going to duplicate this text. Yeah, this is another one. I will just make these 8, and I will say David at gmail.com. We will get all of these things from the database. Okay, so now we have this. Why do we have this? I want us to make these a bit bolder, so I can say 600 by, yeah, 600. Yeah. So now we have this. The next thing that okay, not good morning user. Let's just say hello. Really, just hello. Then let's go ahead and put the same thing that we have here. Look at this. So we have this particular design here, right? I want us to have something like that. So there's a container here. Let me look at the color. Let's go into the developer mode, and then I will go ahead and check out the color. This is the color. So I'm copying that. The height of this particular container, it's black, but it's different from this one. Is 43 the height. The width here is 14. Okay, that's just the only thing that I'm going to focus on. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click to add a child to the column, add a container, right? And then I'm going to give that container a height of 43, and I'm going to give it an infinite width. All right, I'm going to paste the color that I copied, and the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to give it a padding of 14 on the left and padding of 14 on the right. Then if you observed, it had a border radius of 7. So I will just go ahead and come here and give it a border radius of 7. All right, so just 7 like that. Okay, so I had to click this to say all the different borders should have the value 7 as a border radius. Now, the next thing I need to do is I'm going to go ahead and add a row inside that container. So I'm clicking on add a child to this container. All right, so I'm adding a row. Inside that row, I'm going to add, what do we have here? I think this is a checkbox. I don't know why it's a checkbox, but anyways, let's just use a checkbox too. Okay, so let's come over here and search for checkbox. All right, so this is our checkbox, and for some reason it's white. Okay, so let's use white. Let's come over here and say white, maybe these. Okay, so maybe that's just how it is. And then we will go ahead and click on the row again to add a text inside it. So I'm adding a text inside the row, and this is the text. The text says go to grocery shop. So I'm going to come over here and paste the text, go to grocery shop, and I will just go ahead and say white is the text color. And let's look at this. The dimension is 500 by 18. So I'll just go ahead and change this to 500, change this to 18. Beautiful. Now, but the thing is, this container, what I'm going to do is it's supposed to come from everything that is supposed to come, like this particular detail is supposed to come from the database. And that simply means we're going to have to query a particular database that is called to-do list. In fact, before we continue, let's create a collection, right? More like our database called to-do list. So I'm going to click here to add a collection, and I'm going to call it to-do. All right, maybe to-do list. Okay, then I say create, and then now I need to set up the schema. All right, I'll click on start from scratch. So a to-do list is going to have something like title. Okay, so title. All right, in fact, let's just say just title, or yeah, title. Then we say string. The data type is going to be string because we should be able to write anything inside it. Then I'll check it. Okay, then I can say something like date. This is going to have data type of date time, and I think I need to do something else. Let's say creator. That's the person who created this to-do list. Now, and I will tell you why we're doing this later. So let's say document reference. We're saying document reference. We're referencing the users, and then we check. Okay. Now, if we go ahead and what else? I think that's about it. Now, this is where all the list of our to-do list for a particular day will be showing. All right, so what else do we do exactly? We have to come here to create to-do. Okay, create to-do. This is where we'll create our to-do. So I'll say create to-do. Okay, I'll change the app bar color to black just for uniformity's sake, and then I will click here the main column. All right, and I'm going to add a text field widget. All right, and a button, simple stuff. So I'm going to click to add that, and I will say text field. All right, then I will just go ahead and give it a top padding of maybe 25. Then this will be 25. Yeah, this is going to be 25. And I'll come over here to where we have the input border and say outline, so that I can give it a color, an outline around it. And the next thing I'll do is I'll come here to where we have the label text, the label property, and say start typing. Okay, start typing. And then the next thing that I'll do is I'll put a button here. Just click on the column and add a button. All right, the button is going to be, let me put a padding of 25 here, 25 here. The width of the button is going to be infinite width. And then the color of the button is going to be, let's click here to change the field color to black. And then I will say something like, this is where we find the button text. So I will say create to do, all right? And then I will give it a top padding of maybe 14 here, just to push it a little bit. Now, this is how we have our to do, all right? It's very simple. Now let's go back to the creates, sorry, no, let's go back to to-do list. So this is going to be our home page. So let's go first to settings, go to app details, our login page. Okay, the logged in page is going to be to-do list. You have to come change this while you're working on your own, okay? All right, now that simply means this is the first page that we're gonna see after we've logged in, all right? Now that we have done this, let's go ahead and start some sort of backend, okay? We have our to-do list here. Let's go to the create to do. This is it. I'm going to just rename this and say text. Maybe I'm calling this text. Okay, that's I'm renaming the text field. I'm calling it text. And then now what I want to do is when the user types something inside here and clicks on create to do, I want to add an action. So I click here to add an action, click to add an action. And then I will say, I will come down here to backend and database, click on Firestore and create document. What document am I creating? I want to create a to-do list document, one line of document in the collection called to-do list. And so this is it. What are the fields that will be inside it? I'm going to tab. We had already created a collection, so I'll just tap to put all of it. Now we have basically 3 fields. So title, where will we take the title from? The content of the title that will be stored inside the database. We're going to say it's not going to be a specific value. It's going to be from variable. What variable? So I'm going to click on onset and go to widget state, and then I'll say text. So this is where it will, when it is submitting it to the database, this is where it will look for the text to add under the field called title, all right? So we do that. Then the next thing is the date. When was this created? So I'll click on this and say global properties, current time. And then I'll say confirm, okay? And then the next thing that I'm going to do is I'm just going to go ahead and click on creator. Creator is going to be the person that created this, and we are getting the user reference. So I'm going to click on onset, go to authenticated properties or authenticated user, and select user reference. Now that way I have successfully, set up all of these already. Now the next thing that I need to do is when the user has created this, okay, I want to be able to tell the user something. To-do list created. I need to add some sort of snack bar, some sort of information. So I'll come over here and add an action, and that action is going to be snack bar. I usually like the snack bar a lot. So created, to-do list created successfully. Okay, good stuff. Now I'll go ahead and click on secondary, and I want to change the color. Let's say black, and then the duration of this very short notification is going to be 2 seconds. That's 2000 milliseconds. And then the text color is going to be white. Okay. Now there's something I need to do before I continue. Let's go ahead and just run a debug test session so that when we are testing our application, we won't have to wait for too long to have it running. So I'm running it already. It's going to last for like 28 minutes. So we'll be fine. Now I have created that. Another thing that I need to do is, this is where we have our to-do list, right? Now, there should be a button here that the user will use to get directed to where they can create a to-do list. So we'll click on this to-do list and then click on the widget tree, click on the scaffold. That's the very first widget here, all right? And then click on the add a child to the scaffold and search for something called fab, all right? Let me see. Is that not what it's called? Yeah, it is. So this is it. So we have fab, all right? So I'm going to just add it. It's called floating action button. Now we're going to give this color black. And then here it's just going to be the plus icon. This is okay. Now what's going to happen, I'm going to add an action here to the fab button, that's floating action button. And then the action is going to be to navigate to create to do. All right, create to do. And then I can add a transition type, fade, and say 500. Simple. So when the user clicks on this, it will take the user to the page where they are supposed to create the to-do list. Okay. Now, the next thing that I'm going to do, let's see what is happening here. This is still loading up, but let's just get it loading up properly. Okay, so we have like 28 minutes on the session. Okay, so now that we have created a backend for the to-do list that we've created, let's see what we can do. Now, what we're going to do here is just going to be something simple, all right? Let's click on this. For this particular one, we want all the things that we have created, like the documents in the database or in the collection called to-do list, to come out here, like to be displayed as a list. So we're going to have to wrap this. So I'm going to right click on the container, wrap it in a widget called list view. All right. I'm going to stop for now and just be sure that everyone is following me. Stop screen. Okay, so I just wanted to be sure that everyone is following, and I see some questions here. So someone is saying something like, I couldn't complete my landing space, it won't enable scrolling. Okay, so just to answer this particular question, I will just quickly share my screen again. I'll continue, but I'll just answer that one first before continuing what I was building. Okay, sorry, I have a cough. Okay, so let me share quickly again. All right, so to make your column scrollable, right, for the person that asked that question, you have to go ahead and click on the main column, like the main column here, and then you have to click on this thing that says scrollable. So currently it is currently on do not allow scrolling. So you have to turn on this to allow it to scroll. Okay, I hope this answers your question. So the next thing that I'm going to do quickly is I'm going to go ahead and, okay, I've already wrapped this in a list view. Now I'm going to query that list view. I want to query it so that it can give me stuff from the backend. So I'm going to click on add query, click on this, click on query collection, select the collection I want to query, which is to-do list. I'm going to say list of documents. Okay, and then I will say confirm and confirm again. Now it shows like this. What we need to do is click on the main container and give it some sort of padding, maybe 12, just so that it can come out like this. Perfect. So now we have something really useful like this. Let me see. Let's give this 25 as the padding and 25 as the padding here as well. Okay, so then I think this one here, I can just give it extra 4. Yeah, like that, just to make it a little bit nice. So now I've queried these. The next thing I need to do is select the text. Instead of the text being written out, I want it to come from the database, the collection that has just been queried. So I click on the orange icon. I will see the to-do list document because I just queried it. And then I will see title. Now this is exactly how I want it to be. Now we can go ahead and test our application. Okay, let's go ahead and do an instant reload just one time because we've done some upgrade to this. And then now we need to create, okay, there's one thing I need us to do, otherwise we'll have issues. Let's come back here to create to create to do. All right, and I'm gonna click here, add add this. Okay, no, I don't want that one. Let's use this one. Okay, so let's change the color to black. All right, and then for this particular icon here, which is for back, I will click here to add, okay, it's already there, navigate back. Now I wanted us to be able to navigate back. All right, so let's add another action to this button. So when the user creates a document, it shows this, and then it's also going to do one thing. It's going to navigate back. All right, so navigate back, or preferably, I will say navigate to to-do list. Okay, so like that. So maybe not instant. Okay, yeah, it should be instant. Yeah, instant. Okay, so now we have this. Let's go ahead and just run an instant reload one more time. Just one more time, and then we can test what we have done so far. Yeah, then I will just show you some other basic things that is supposed to just make the application even nicer. Okay, so this is our login part. I already have an account, so I will just go ahead and something is happening here. It's showing me something is happening here. It's not showing me. Okay, it's showing me white color actually. So I will come and fix this very soon. So let me just quickly fix that. Oh, okay, we have an error here. It says run mode only notification, Firestore security rules, da 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 da. Okay, so what we're going to do here is we're going to try to fix the security rules for this. How are we going to do that? We're going to just go ahead and first of all, let me fix the other problem. That's a problem that has to do with login. So this is it, and the color of the text is white. That's the problem. So I'm going to click here to change it to black. The password will be black as well. Okay, then login. Let's try. It's going to be okay. It's already black, and this is black. Okay, that's good. Then what else do we need to do? We're going to go ahead and let me see. What do we do? Let me add a particular. Let's go to this to-do list, and I want to add an icon somewhere here. Let me right click on this, wrap widget with a role, and then I want to add an icon for logging out. Okay, so I'll just come here, search for an icon for log out. Okay, so we can use this, and then I can say red, and then I can click on the role and say use this particular kind of alignment. Then I'll click on the icon for logout, add an action for it, and search for logout. Now this is perfect. Okay, so we have this, and okay, let's fix the security rules. So if we click here, we'll see that we have, okay, this one is not security rules. It's a primary scroll problem. So I'm turning this off. That's how to fix that particular error. And then we'll come back here to Firestore, go to settings, come over here, and it says this Firestore rules is outdated, out of date. So here we need to set up our CRUD, right? So write, we want everybody to be able to write, and then delete, we want everybody to be able to delete. So then we can just uncheck this and deploy. Okay, so we deploy that and deploy now, and now we're good. So we'll just go ahead and run an instant reload, and with that, we're going to have our application running successfully. Okay, I hope you guys are following, and you will be practicing this in real time, not necessarily in real time, like I mean after the class. So now we don't have that error anymore. Okay, so one more thing. If we come here, I want this to come from database. So I'm gonna click on this small icon here, go to authenticated user and say email. All right, so now I need to be coming from the database. So if I click on here, I can log out perfectly. Then I can come over here and just log in. Let's say that, and then, okay, so I'll say sign in. Now that I've signed in, now it's showing David at Gmail. Okay, because I have not done an instant reload actually. Okay, so actually we can just do one more instant reload, and that will be fine. Yes. Okay, so we have 20 minutes on this. Actually, we won't take so much time today. I just wanted to show you how to create a simple to-do list where you get to see how to create at least one part of the CRUD, which is create. Okay, now we have the correct thing. Now let's go ahead and click on this. You see, we don't have the list yet here, all right? We will click on this. It will bring us to where we have this to do. I'll say, let's say morning prayer, and then say create to do. All right, so now that's it. So this is my to-do list for the day. So I can click this to check the box and all of that. Yeah, so we will have to come and change this a little bit. Then I can create to add another to-do list. Let's say morning prayer or brush my teeth, right? Brush my teeth. And do yoga. If you observe, we have the snack bar working up. So do some yoga. Okay, create to do. And then I can say something like make breakfast. Okay, creates to do, and I have all of this. All right, so this is how to just create a simple to-do list. Now you can always like refer back to the video where I showed you guys how to like maybe edit it. So we can still do that right away. We can come over here, all right, and then do something. So I want to be able to edit this, okay? I want to be able to like edit these. So I can add a row inside here. Maybe not a row. Okay, this is already in a row. Let me see. If I come over here and say list view, okay, this is a row, a big row, then we have a container. Okay, so let's say I have an icon. Let's add an icon. Let's say an icon is here, an icon, and then the icon is for edit. So let's say it's for edit, something like this. And then I can come over here, maybe reduce it to 20, then go ahead and add these as the icon for edit. Then I will say row, spread them across like this. Don't worry, we'll fix this. Add a padding of maybe 14 here. Then click on these and just cut it out. First, we will fix it. Click on this checkbox. This is just like a hack or a quick fix for positioning them properly. Wrap the widget with a row and then paste what you had. So now I have this. So if I click on this edit icon, I want to be able to add an action to it. And that action is going to be to navigate to, create to do, okay? And, okay, not necessarily creates to do. We want another place entirely. So let me delete this, okay? Let's go to the pages that we have. And then the next thing that I need to do quickly is I will come to that create to do, and then I'll right click and duplicate the page. But now I'll say edit to do. All right, edit to do. Then I'll say here update, maybe update to do. Okay. All right, I think this is the last part. Okay, update to do. Now for this one now, what I just want to do is when the user clicks on update to do, okay, I want it to update the to do. But first of all, before we continue on this, I'll go ahead and click on the scaffold here, change it to update to do, okay? And the next thing that I'll do quickly is, let's come back here to create to do. No, let's go to to-do list. And when I click on the icon here, I want to navigate to update to do, okay? And this is going to be like fade and maybe 500 millisecond. And then the next thing that I'll do is I want to pass a particular parameter to the other screen. That means I want it to specifically know which of the documents in that collection called to-do list. So I'm going to click on define, add a parameter. This is going to be to-do ref. I like to call it like that. So we're referencing the to-do, and it's going to be a document reference because we're referencing a document that was already queried. And what kind of document are we referencing? Is it to-do list document? Then I'll click on confirm. Now, then I'll pass the information. Now I only connected the pipes. Now I need to allow the data to flow through it. So I click on define. And then the next thing I need to do is click on value, all right? And go to the to-do list document and say reference. Now I have successfully connected the two of them. So the next thing I need to do now is I'll go to the update to do. Let me just correct the spelling. Update to do. And then now when the user comes here, right, what I want to do is I want to catch the to-do that has been sent here. So I'm going to click on the scaffold, come here to backend query, click on add query, and then say document from reference. And we're picking the reference from what we had sent, and it's going to be a to-do list. So I'm clicking here and then picking the reference from the page parameter. Okay, so I click on that, then click on confirm and click on confirm again. Now that way we have passed the information straight to this page. Now we can update it. If we click on update to do, we want to add an action. Okay, anyways, this was backend call before. Let's just click on this and say backend Firestore. Don't worry, we actually copied it, so that's why we're seeing all of these things. So I just want to change it to update document. So it's going to ask me what's the reference of the document you want to update. So I'll just come over here and then I'll say reference document, confirm. What field do you want to update? I just want to update one field, that's a title. I want it to be from variable. So I click on onset. And then I want it to come from the widget state text. That's all. So then I want it to show snack bar, then navigate to to-do list. Now this one is going to say to-do list updated successfully. Okay, so now if we come over here and then just do an instant reload, we have 13 minutes on the time before the run mode expires, the debug run mode expires. So we're going to try to wrap it up. I hope that you are following and I hope that you understand the things that I am doing. Okay, so the next thing here is we have this now. So what we need to do is click on the edit icon. All right, now let's say make breakfast. I didn't want to say make breakfast. I wanted to say make brunch. So I'll click on this and then I'll say make brunch. Okay, then I'll say update to do. Now let's change it to make brunch. Now there's something that I need to do, right? So when it comes to this update, I want it to show the exact thing that was already there, so that I don't have to like start typing from the beginning. So I'll click on the text field here, and then I'll come to something called, where is it? I want it to be like this is the label text, initial value, the initial value. So I want to click here and say to do this document text, title. So now this is what we're gonna have there. And then what we're going to do simply is we're going to just go ahead and update the document here. So let's go ahead and just, do an instant reload here. And that way we will be able to test what we have done as an upgrade. Okay. Now let's see what we have done. Okay. I believe that we're doing like some really good stuff here, for real. And I hope that you're learning and then you are going to use this, try to practice this, and then share it on LinkedIn, show people that okay, you found different ways to build mobile application without writing codes. And of course, remember to subscribe to this YouTube channel. Thank you very much. So I'm going to click on this now. Now you see it says make brunch. It's easier. So I can say make brunch and dinner, something like that. And I'll say updates to do. Now this is it. Beautiful stuff. Okay, so now there's only one last thing that I need us to do. Now if you observe, let me show you something. If I click here and then I say create to do, it creates an empty to do. Nothing is there. If I click on it again and say create to do, it creates another empty to do. We don't want that. We want it to only create something when a particular information has been written on the text. So that means that let's go back to where we have create to do. All right, and this button here. Now we just said, okay, when someone clicks on the button, just go ahead and create a to-do, a document. Now that's not what we want to do. We want to be able to do, let me cut this thing out, cut the entire action chain out. Okay, cut the chain out. I want to add a conditional. Okay, I'm going to tell it to do what? I'm going to tell it to check, go to the widget. Okay, let's come here. I'm going to add a single condition. And then I'm going to come here and say, go to the widget state, check the text widget. If the text widget is set and not empty, okay, I confirm. Then I'm going to paste the other actions that I did. So this is it. It checks whether the text field is empty, is set and not empty. If it is set and not empty, it can now go ahead and create the document and show snack bar and navigate. But if it is false, let's add an action here and then let's call it snack bar. Okay, so we're going to say, sorry, you didn't enter any to do any detail. Sorry, didn't enter any detail. So something like that. Okay, then we can just change this to 2000, then change this to black, and change this to white. Okay, so that's just like the idea. Okay, so now with that, what we can do now is let's come back here to our debug test and then just reload it. Okay, I'm going to just quickly stop sharing, stop screen. Let me just fix a small challenge here. Okay, just 1 minute, guys. Okay. All right. I think that's fixed. Let's what I'm fixing is not what we were building actually. I needed to like turn on something. Okay, so let's go back here and yeah, this is our application. It has finished running. Now what I can just simply do is let's go ahead and let me see. So here is for our let's create it. So if we try to create and we say, let me show you. I try to create something. It tells me, sorry, you didn't enter any details. So it doesn't create any to-do list for me. If I come back here now and I see nothing is created, I click here and I try to do that. It tells me, sorry, you didn't enter any detail. I can keep clicking it to not create it. It doesn't respect nobody. So I have to say something. Let's say subscribe to FlutterFlow, okay? And then I can click on create to do. It creates it successfully for me, okay? Let's do the last thing here before we end the class. Let's go to create to-do list. And then I will click on this, right click and wrap it in a row, okay? And then in that row, I want to add another icon. Let's just duplicate this. That icon is going to be delete, okay? So today we have somehow done most of the crude already. In fact, all of it. We've done all of the crude. Let me add these as a delete, okay? And then I'll come over here. Let's delete the action that I added here. I want to delete like the documents that we create. Let's say I added a particular to-do list and I don't want it anymore. So I will just come over here, backend, Firestore, delete document. It's gonna ask me what's the reference. I'll say document reference, and that's it. Okay, so let's hide this. And I think that's all that we have to do. Let's click on instant reload. I just want us to delete those empty documents that we created, okay? All right, so I hope that you have been able to learn something tangible from this class, and you will be practicing this as well. So I'm just gonna click on this to delete this. It's gone. Delete this as well. That's all I wanted to do. Okay, so that's the end of our session for today. I hope that you have been able to learn something really tangible, and you're going to be practicing this as well. And of course, we'll see in the next class. So I'm going to stop my class here and stop sharing. Okay. So I think you. Okay. So sorry about that. So sorry about that. I think I had some network glitch there. Oh my goodness. I'm so sorry. I'm just seeing the comments right now saying my screen froze. So sorry about that. Okay, so I think I'll just share again one more time, just so that we can see. Okay, hold on. Let me just. Let me confirm about what really happened there. Sorry guys, I'm trying to fix this particular challenge that I have. Okay, so let me try to share my screen just one more time. Okay, so sorry about that error. Okay, so what I did was we've worked on this edit already. I believe that where you might have lost me is where I added the delete icon. So what I just did was I duplicated this icon, I wrapped it in a row so that it can allow for the proper alignment. Then I added an action of delete to these. We've already done this before, so I was just trying to do all of the crude at once in this tutorial. So this is it. All right, so I added these and then I selected the reference for it to delete. And this is the application itself. Let me just like quickly log in again. And so we can, I'm not sure this is gonna, this is not the password. Yeah, this is not it. I used another email display this and this is it. Yeah, so this is what I did such that we can just delete a particular to-do list. All right, and then you can like click on this to check out what happened here. Make brunch, dinner, make breakfast, brunch and dinner, something like this. Now we have an overflow error. Okay, so I didn't pay attention to that. Let's try to fix that quickly. Here we can just make it expandable. Let me see, we can make it. Okay, I think I want to address that right now in this class. Yeah. Yeah, so I would just go ahead and, change this. Okay. Yeah, so I'll just say breakfast and brunch. Yeah, I will talk about how to create expandable widgets later, right? So that you can see how it works. We have just 1 minute on this. Make breakfast and brunch. Okay. Make breakfast. Let's say slash brunch. Okay. All right. So this is where we've stopped. And then I would like to get your questions now. Okay. All right. Yes, please. Please do not forget to subscribe to the channel. This is an information from me and from the community manager. So sorry about these. So sorry about these. I didn't observe that at first. All right. Yeah, Tambury, you're not so late. You can always like rewatch the video and catch up. We're trying to see how we can create a simple to-do list application. Yeah. Okay. All right, Lawan, it was good answering your question. I hope that you guys have learned a couple of things from these. Yeah, so Tambury, the class is always recorded. You can always like click on the link that was shared in the community and rewatch it as soon as the live session ends. All right, so I will be stopping the class here and we'll continue in the next class. All right, have a great day, guys. Bye for now.